When he knocked down Thurman in that fight, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's 40 years old and still can crack and still as fast as lightning. He's a legend of the sport. He is a legend, and he's such an unusual.
I can split the guard during that sequence. Left hand speed is still there.
The right hand of Mario Barrios trying to establish.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back in his reaction to Manny Pacquiao's comeback fight against Mario Barrios, summing it up in just 3 words: he got robbed. And he wasn't alone. Fans erupted in outrage. Legends of the sport voiced their disbelief, and the boxing community remains divided over how a 46-year-old Pacquiao could outwork a younger champion for 12 rounds, only to walk away with a controversial draw. On July 19th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Pacquiao defied age and expectations, stepping into the ring after a 4-year hiatus against a much younger Mario Barrios, the WBC welterweight title holder. Instead of fading into nostalgia, fought like his prime years had never left his footwork sharp, his signature left hand snapping Barrios' head back, and his aggression unrelenting. The crowd was electric, roaring with every flurry, while Barrios played it safe, banking on age to slow Manny down. But it didn't. Pacquiao dominated the middle rounds, landed more power punches, and walked his opponent down. By the final bell, he looked like the clear winner until the judges announced a majority draw, shocking everyone in attendance. Outrage followed, with hashtags like #PACQUIAO, Rob trending instantly, and fighters from around the globe criticizing the decision. Rogan's stunned reaction from his studio went viral, echoing the anger of millions. In his view, this wasn't a close call, it was a clear Pacquiao victory that the judges failed to recognize, and his take has reignited debate about fairness in boxing. From the opening bell, the contrast in styles was immediately clear. Manny Pacquiao bounced on his toes with youthful energy, his head constantly moving as he feinted and darted in and out with the speed of a fighter half his age. In stark contrast, Mario Barrios stood upright and cautious, methodically working behind his jab in an effort to keep Pacquiao at a distance. The first round was largely a feeling-out process, but Pacquiao's quickness quickly stole the spotlight. He slipped under Barrios' jab, exploded inside with 2 sharp left hands, then pivoted out before Barrios could respond. Each time Manny found an opening, the crowd erupted, chanting his name and fueling his relentless pace.
Open up and get time by shots like that, right? And he went for the second one, and here it is again.
By round 2, Pacquiao had found his rhythm, targeting Barrios' body with crisp hooks and following up with sharp straight lefts upstairs. While Barrios remained committed to his jab-heavy strategy, his reluctance to fully engage gave control of the tempo. The action truly ignited in rounds 3 and 4, as Pacquiao's trademark footwork took over, circling both ways, creating sharp angles and setting up clean, rapid-fire combinations. The crowd erupted in round 4, when Pacquiao trapped Barrios in the corner and unleashed a blistering 5-punch flurry that landed clean before Barrios could clinch. Rounds 5 through 8 showcased vintage Pacquiao, as he relentlessly walked Barrios down with 3- and 4-punch combinations, digging to the body and snapping Barrios' head back with straight lefts. It was during this stretch that Pacquiao statistically surged ahead, landing the bulk of his 81 power punches. Meanwhile, Barrios was constantly on the retreat, resetting under the weight of Manny's unrelenting pressure.
Nice body shot there with the left from Manny Pacquiao to the solar plexus of Manny.
But Barrios wasn't going to fold. In round 9, he made key adjustments and picked up his activity, throwing more punches and staying on the move. Even though many of his shots were blocked or slipped by Pacquiao, Barrios kept circling and jabbing, trying to disrupt Manny's rhythm. In the final 3 rounds, Barrios fully committed to a late surge, doubling up on his jab and unleashing flurries, many of which lacked accuracy, but gave the impression of aggression and work rate, possibly swaying the judges in what had otherwise been a Pacquiao-dominated fight.
That was a combination of punches, a flurry. 1, 2, 1, 2, boom. 4, 1, 2, and he's going straight back Mario Barrios.
When the final bell rang, Pacquiao raised his gloves with a confident smile, certain he had done enough to secure the win. The crowd roared in agreement, chanting his name as Barrios stood silently in his corner, visibly fatigued. For many watching, Manny's dominant performance through the middle rounds had clearly tipped the fight in his favor. Given his age and the long layoff, few expected him to perform at this level, let alone leave the ring without a victory.
After this layoff, almost fighting on even terms here with Barrios. Oh, what a nice record. The answer from Manny
the ring. And if Tiki said, Manny Pacquiao, you got...
The atmosphere inside the MGM Grand shifted dramatically the moment the scorecards were announced. What had been a night filled with nostalgia and excitement quickly turned to disbelief and anger. Fans who had roared with every Pacquiao flurry now stood in stunned silence, trying to process the result. Then the boos erupted, echoing across the arena. A majority draw. Two judges had it, 114 to 114, while one narrowly gave Barrios the edge at 115 to 113, allowing him to retain his WBC welterweight title. For a crowd that had watched Pacquiao dominate the middle rounds, it felt like a punch to the gut. Chants of Manny. Manny rang out once more, but this time they were cries of protest, not celebration.
Majority draw. And of course, in that case, the champion retains.
Pacquiao's reaction spoke volumes of the gentleman. He nodded respectfully and clapped for Barrios, though a flicker of disappointment crossed his face. Later, he humbly stated that he believed he had done enough to win, while still giving credit to Barrios for being tough. Barrios.com, as he lifted his belt, thanked Pacquiao and the fans, insisting he believed he'd earned the victory. But the boos raining down told a different story. The crowd clearly disagreed. Ringside commentators exchanged puzzled glances as the arena filled with outrage. Many questioned how Barrios' late flurries could possibly outweigh sharper, cleaner shots throughout the fight. For those in attendance, stats didn't matter. The eye test told them Pacquiao won. Online, the backlash was instant. Hashtags like hashtag #PACQUIAO, robbed, and hashtag boxing corruption started trending within minutes. Social media flooded with clips of Pacquiao landing clean combinations, while Barrios backed up, with captions like "This was Manny's fight, and how is this a draw?" What should have been remembered as one of boxing's greatest comebacks quickly became a firestorm of controversy. And that's when Joe Rogan's voice entered the conversation, because if there's one guy who calls out injustice in combat sports without hesitation, it's Rogan.
Pretty even, Manny Pacquiao is a legend, but I think it was a fun.
Do you want to see him back in the ring after this?
I think he's aged already, when you get older, your body gets tired, so I think he is retired already.
I think I can move on to the next one. Let me get Barrios. Barrios ass.
Move on to it. He'll be 47 by the time he steps in the ring.
I mean, that's the thing. Age is not on his side, so he's a legend. He can do whatever he wants. He can go get back in there and get a world title. He can do it.
Yo, man, Pacquiao won that shit. Pacquiao won that shit. I had it 9-2. Well, no, wait. I always wrong with these numbers. 10-2. You know what? 9-3. I always have it wrong with these numbers.
What'd you think about the fight? Why'd you think Manny won?
Velocity, like the amount of punches that were connecting.
We've seen Manny on the end of bad decisions before. Timothy Bradley, excuse me. Jeff Horn fight, and shout out to Tim. I know how you feel about that. But this is what he's got to deal with. You can't go through a camp, do what you just did right there. We saw all the heart, everything that we've always seen from Manny, and this is the result. Shout out to Mario. He made the fight different.
Barrios and everything else. Yeah, that's how I've seen it.
The outrage over Manny Pacquiao's controversial draw with Mario Barrios wasn't just emotional, it was unanimous. Fighters, analysts, and fans alike all agreed. Pacquiao should have had his hand raised. Former world champion Sean Porter, usually measured in his critique, called the judging incompetent, highlighting how Pacquiao controlled the pace, landed the cleaner, more meaningful shots, and pressed the action while Barrios spent much of the fight on the back foot. Porter argued that champions shouldn't be rewarded for surviving most of the bout and only showing urgency in the final rounds. Veteran boxing journalist Dan Rafael was even harsher, calling the decision absolutely awful and a complete disgrace, with his comments quickly going viral. Even current fighters like Devin Haney weighed in, saying Pacquiao should have one, while his feed lit up with retweets of other pros scoring it for Manny. Across social media, unofficial scorecards overwhelmingly favored Pacquiao, with many reading 115 to 113 or 116 to 112. On Reddit's Our Boxing, top posts slammed Barrios for his tentativeness and praised Pacquiao for pushing the fight at 46 years old. Slow-motion clips of Manny slipping jabs and landing sharp left hands flooded TikTok, Instagram, and X with captions like, "And this is a draw," and "Boxing did Manny dirty tonight." Inside the MGM Grand, the boos didn't stop when the fighters left the ring. Some fans were still chanting Manny. Manny, during Barrios' post-fight interview, what should have been remembered as one of boxing's most inspirational comebacks, a 46-year-old legend outworking a prime champion was, instead, hijacked by another judging controversy. That's why Joe Rogan's blunt reaction struck such a chord with his signature honesty and deep respect for combat sports. Rogan captured the sentiment of millions. Manny Pacquiao got robbed.